was on the road, on the journey of his life. 2 years through desert and jungle, alongside rivers and mountains. Unbearable heat, biting cold, nothing could stop him. He was searching for images of cultures and traditions. Unchanged for thousands of years, Jimmy Nelson, one of the world's outstanding photographers, is in pursuit of the pictures. He's a maestro. A composer of unbelievable motifs. Exhilarating, awesome, unmistakable. Immerse yourself in the world of Before They Pass Away. Jimmy Nelson is a creator of images, one of the world's outstanding photographers. Before they pass away, explore the journeys.
Vanuatu, a long stretch of about 83 islands in the southern Pacific, 2,000 kilometers east of Australia, home to the Melanesian people called Ni Vanuatu. The expedition is especially interested in the island of Tanna, where every August they celebrate the legendary Toka ceremony. Once it used to mark the end of tribal war, but today it's a symbol of alliance between the different tribal groups. Everybody on the island is preparing for the colorful feasts, even the children. The men begin by hunting wild pigs and collecting cocoa. The women arrange the weddings, and together they rehearse complex traditional dances on their dancing grounds called Nazara. The celebration will last 3 days, with more than 2,000 people from all over the island attending. But the real goal is the Mount Yazur, an active volcano whose sparkling lava attracted the attention of Captain James Cook, who set foot on the island in 1774, and that now has Jimmy and his crew under its spell.
Ever since I've started traveling from a child, one book I read many years ago was Paul Theroux's The Happy Isles of Oceania. And I had these vivid images of the islands of Vanuatu, which he mentioned. Their remoteness, their isolation, essentially their purity. And I have had this sort of fascination. I've wanted to go there for years and years. This is Vanuatu. It's an archipelago, I think some 2,000 kilometers east of Australia. It has unbelievable richness and culture, thanks largely in part of its relative isolation from the rest of the world.
Getting to Vanuatu is not for those who are afraid of distances. It takes a lot of preparation and imagination. When you get to Australia, the journey only just begins. A 3.5-hour flight, which is operated only once a week, will then take you to Port Vila, where the next challenge awaits you. Getting to Tanna is possible on the one existing flight, only a few times a week. But that, of course, is always overbooked. A banana boat might do the job, but Jimmy found a better way. A 45-year-old Cessna, with barely enough space for the team, the equipment and the young pilot who is able to ground the plane on a grass airfield. Just enough petrol to cover the 5 hours return flight, and off you go, praying for good weather and a reliable GPS. first goal on Tana is visiting the Yakel, the proud and utterly authentic inhabitants. In 1,000 years, very little has changed in their habits or the looks of their villages hidden deep inside the jungle. The Yakel have a reputation for adding spirituality and magic to natural phenomena. The men still drink kava, made from the pepper plant that contains a mildly intoxicating drug. The Yakel like to gather around banyan trees with their impressive and tangled roots and branches.
When you arrive, obviously you can't come steamrolling with all your cameras. You've got to sort of ingratiate yourself. We hide all the cameras. We metaphorically take our clothes off and try and become one of them. We don't literally run around naked. And you essentially, in a very simple way, try and become friends.
The banyan tree is where the chief mediates between disputes and where the current affairs are being discussed. And it inspired Jimmy.
Once you actually stand underneath these banyan trees, you've never seen anything like it in your whole life. They're so big, but they're essentially sort of houses, literally cathedrals. So I had this wacky idea, sort of putting all the Yakel people in the trees. After a while, they sort of understood what I wanted. And they had this fantastic sort of spectacle of this tree with all sort of hanging in there. It's the most stunning imagery.
3.
Although it seems all very easy, getting the Yakel exactly where Jimmy wanted them to be required patience on both sides. Sometimes it took as much as 3 hours to take just one picture.
And on the last morning with the Yakel, we were blessed with what essentially is a photographer's dream. It's light, 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 light. And on this early morning, the Yakel men walking through the jungle towards me, backlit with this dust in front of them, creating this sort of stunning sort of palette of colours and light. Very, very beautiful picture.
The first night with the Yakel is short. It has been a brief yet productive stay, but as always, it is now time for an adventure of a different kind. The team has to cross the island to reach the most dangerous mountain in the world, the most active volcano we know. Mount Yazur rises 361 meters above sea level, dominating the surrounding arid landscape. For a very long time, the volcano was taboo territory for all men. Population believed it would anger the spirits if anyone would climb the mountain.
We eventually ended up in the landscape around Mount Yazur. You have in the distance this cone of the volcano. You hear this quiet rumbling. The landscape's very serene. It's almost prehistoric. It's like some sort of strange sort of Steven Spielberg film. Very beautiful. But this piece, the Serenity, is very, very deceptive because behind the scenes you can hear the rumbling. There's something quite terrifying going on.
Smoke and choking sulfur fill the air. Ground trembles and the crater grumbles, warning all new visitors of impending dangers.
There was also a moral responsibility in this. I did begin to question, standing there on the volcano, myself, my crew, the Yakel, the volcano exploding. Was I right? Should I have been there? Had I not taken the limits too far? It was a challenge for me to make the picture, and there was sort of quite a buzz getting them up there. came to the end of what I regard as the shoot. They don't perceive it as that, and we were making our goodbyes, and the chief of the Yakel came up to me and he hugged me and he kissed me.
Thank you.
It really felt as if we'd bonded, we'd made a connection, we'd survived the volcano, and I hope, maybe I'm naive, but I hope they really understood what I was trying to achieve.
Flying from one extreme to the other, from the crater rim to the wild ocean. Although, as luck would have it, nature provided the team with a calm day. A day to capture man and nature at their aesthetic best.
We started making our way to the island of Ambrym, very high on my wish list, but again a very dodgy experience. 2 active volcanoes and no specific landing strip, so I remember flying around the island, avoiding all the ash and the dust and the sulfur, and then looking for a suitable place to land. Again, I was really questioning myself, am I sane? Stunning, huh? Extraordinary. I don't think I've ever experienced something so beautiful as that. The setting, we're on the coast in forgotten the name, Ambrym Island, with the rum dance. This is a very spiritual dance, and it's stunning. Early in the morning, the mist, the smoke. Yeah. Great, come.
As always, Jimmy will not accept anything less than perfection. Once he has an image in his mind, it's best not to stand in his way. He's on a photographic mission. Ambrym is known for its striking Rom dancers and is considered the archipelago's sorcery center because of its shamanistic rituals.